Firstly, I would like to show my respect to the teacher and hello to everyone. I'm from Group 5 and we are going to present about Part 5, Ancient Southeast Asia, the Malacca, South Sudan, and the Khmer Empire. And first, let me introduce myself. My name is Heng Prasada and I'm going to present about why study Southeast Ancient Asia and geography of Southeast Asia.
Hello teacher and hello everyone. My name is Pantola and I am a member from Group 5 and today I'm going to present about the politics and culture in Southeast Asia and Khmer Empire.
Hello everyone, my name is Mokbupaniet. I'm the member of Group 5 and today I will present you from the part of origin of the Khmer Empire to geography, environment and ecology.
Hello everyone, my name is Manupa. I'm from Group 5 and today I'm going to present about Khmer society and religious practices.
Greetings to our respected lecturer and hello all my beloved classmates. My name is Ransawanita and today is such a great honor for me and my group member to represent all of you about ancient Southeast Asia. And as a part of Group 5, I'm covering about economy and industries, healthcare and medical industry. So I hope all of you enjoy my lesson well.
Hello everyone, my name is Ning Sreper and I'm from Group 5. And today I'm gonna present about cashless society and lack of foreign trade.
Hello everyone, my name is Heng Prasada and I'm from Group 5 and I'm going to present about why study ancient South Asia. So many people study ancient South Asia because of rich cultural diversity, and there are more than 6,000 languages spoken in the world today, but nearly 1/6 of these languages are in South Asia. So what does it mean? This means that South Asia has many different languages and one of the most languages areas in the world. And the rich cultural diversity in South Asia originated from its long history of migration, so which means that South Asia has a long history of borrowing, adapting and modifying in different lands. Another reason for studying ancient South Asia is to understand its powerful economy in the world today. South Asia societies has their own languages, dance, music, song, religion, clothes, and even funeral rites. As you can see in Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Japanese or Chinese, they have their own traditional and they are different from each other. So let's look about origins of Sulawesi. What is the origin of Sulawesi? The origin are an ethnic found in the mountains regions in South Sulawesi in Indonesia. So their population is approximately 1.1 million, and most of them are either Christian or Muslim, and other has their local enemies belief known as the way of ancestor. They also has a elaboration and unique culture. So let's learn about their unique culture. The first one is called Thong Tonant. So I don't know if I pronounce these words right, but it's so difficult to pronounce. What is Thong Tonant? Thong Tonant, as you can see in the picture, is like a home. Their traditional architecture consists of both shaped houses with an oversized set of back roof built on the piles, as you can see in the picture. It's hard to explain. And the second one is called rice terraces. So rice terraces is a grow in terrace paddy field. So this is in Indonesia, they have a unique culture. So what about their special or unique traditional and unique culture in the world? So it's called a tourism. So what is tourism? Tourism are famous for their grand and elaboration funeral rites because they believe that death is not a sudden and sad event. They gradually process toward the land of soul or afterlife. So in this picture, you can see that this is the dead body and their family is not sad. They have a event about their dead body and they believe that this is just a process toward the land of soul or afterlife. So let's look about geography of South Asia. So in terms of geography, South Asia is located south of China and east of India. The Chinese refer to the region as a Nangyan, while ancient India literary sources and Buddhist texts refer to the region as Suvarnabhumi. South Asia is divided into mainland and island South Asia. So let's look about mainland Southeast Asia. There are long rivers like Mekong and Irrawaddy rivers, which being in the highland. And the second one is Iceland, South Asia. So the island of Maritime South Asia can range from very large islands like Sumatra, Java, Borneo, and Luzon to very small islands. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it is me Tola, and now it's my turn, and I'm going to present about the politics and culture in the South Asia and the Khmer Emperor. Yeah, let's start. So now we're going to talk about the politics and the culture in Southeast Asia. For the first one is Hinduism and Buddhism spread to Southeast Asia from the 1st century, supported by the local ruler, which have spread the Buddhist and Hindu religion in the culture in Southeast Asia. And both religions were incorporated into the local animistic belief in the Cambodia and Vietnam. This religion blend with the local mystic belief create a unique culture, and some local deity can be identified the Hindu god Shiva and Vishnu. And the next is the timeline overview, and here is the time period of the cultural influence in the South Asia kingdom. And the first is adoption and adaptation of the Hinduism and Buddhism. The rest of the Funan culture start from 1st to 6th century, and rest of the Srivijaya Empire start from 7th to 12th century, and the last is a Khmer Empire. And next one is spread of the Theravada, Buddhism and Islam. It starts from the Malacca Sultanate and Ayutthaya Kingdom. And Theravada Buddhism believe that meditation and full-time life in a monastery or nunnery are important way to attain the enlightenment. This form Buddhism is strongest in the Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar. So the next point is diverse people, languages, culture, and lifestyle. Different groups of the people migrate to the South Asia across the century bring with them different languages, culture, and lifestyles. Over a long period of the time, they adapt to the local environment and develop culture and trading ties with each other. And sago is also a staple food in the eastern part of the South Asia. And sago is harvested from the forest. And rice in Java and mainland. And the last is houses. Houses are also made out from the bamboo and the sago frond used for construction. So now we go into the last point of my presentation, and we're going to talk about the Khmer Empire. The Khmer Empire was one of the Southeast Asia's largest and the most powerful ancient kingdom from the 9th to 15th century. And its territory covered an area ranging from the modern-day Thailand and a part of the Myanmar to Laos and the southern Vietnam, and was centralized in the Cambodia. And the Khmer Empire is the most famous for Angkor Wat and the light religion monument in the ancient world. And it also famous for its water management infrastructure, art, and other industry. So yeah, my presentation has come to an end. So we go into the next person by Bupanit.
Hello everyone, this is me Mokbupanit and it's my turn to present about origin of the Khmer Empire. So let's get started. During the Khmer Empire, there were three main different time periods such as Funan period that started from 1st to 6th century AD. During that period, there were early urbanization and development of city, building of water control infrastructure, and early writing, use of iron and bronze, introduction of Hinduism and Buddhism, and the last one is Funan becomes part of global trade networks. The second period was Chenla period that started from 7th to 8th century AD. There were major temple buildings are constructed, increased urbanization, and more cities are built. And the last period was Angkor or Khmer period that started from 802 to 1431 AD. So during this period, major temple and city building take place, growth of population in city, and the population during that period was 4 million people. So now let's talk about King Jayavarman II. His period is between 802 to 835 century AD. He was the founder of the Khmer Empire and the most popular king during the Khmer Empire. So historians widely accept the idea that the Khmer or Angkor civilization officially began when King Jayavarman II declared that Angkor Wat was independent of Chenla in 802 century AD. He declared himself King of Cambodia. Then he swiftly built a power and support base by allying and also conquering neighboring kingdom and territory. So now let's move to Khmer government. During the Khmer Empire, there were ruled by 27 kings started from Jayavarman II. As semi-divine being, the ruler were expected to increase the kingdom territory and population size, build state temples to honor the Hindu deities, conduct complete ritual, maintain and build water infrastructure, and to be success in warfare. In this way, they would be able to see to the overall prosperity of their people. So, state temple and monument. State temple and monument were built by many Khmer rulers to worship their belief, such as the most famous temple in Cambodia, which is Angkor Wat, was built by the Jayavarman II to worship the Hinduism. And here we are talking about the Mon. Who are the Mon? The Mon are a group of early Southeast Asian people who had ancient kingdom in modern-day Myanmar and parts of northern Thailand of the west of Cambodia. They are culturally similar to the Khmer, but were religiously more focused on Theravada Buddhism than Hinduism. And the evidence of the Mon was in 2014, a joint Cambodian-Singaporean archaeological team found Sema stone at Phnom Kulen, a palace where King Jayavarman II had started his kingdom. The Sema stones are upright carved marker stones which represent Buddhism scarce space, and boundary where various rituals are conducted. The style of the stone were Mon, which are similar to the Mon kingdom to the west of Cambodia. Such findings tell us that Jayavarman II so religious, tolerant, even though he was Hindu and conduct Buddhist ritual too. Possibly with the Mon, it also suggests that there was a possible alliance between the Khmer ruler and the Mon kingdom. So now let's move to geography, environment, and ecology. Khmer has two seasons such as wet and dry season. Wet season started from May or June to October or November, and dry season start from December and end in March or April. During wet season, there were heavy rainfall from the Himalayan mountain led to the water level of the Mekong River and Tonle Sap Lake rising dramatically to about 10 meters. The Tonle Sap River and lake expand to several times its size. Nutrient-rich waters flood the landscape and there are many fishes in the lake. The soil becomes nutrient-rich and fertile. But during the dry season, the Tonle Sap River reverses course and flows back into the Mekong River. Temperature can be about 40 degrees Celsius and there are droughts. Intensive rice cultivation can take place with 2 or 3 different crops grown in the nutrient-rich soil. Surplus grain in store and sometimes trade for other goods and services. So now let's talk about water control and infrastructure. So some historians have even called Angkor a hydraulic city made up of complex water control features such as barrage, moat, canal, and many other water features. How did this work? At the state level, barrage or large artificial man-made reservoirs were dug to ensure a ready supply of fresh water. These barrages were built by different Khmer rulers to hold large amounts of water for during the Khmer season and to be a public source of water. The barrages are a good example of how the Khmer adopted and tried to control water levels across the kingdom. West Barrage. West Barrage is located west of the walled city of Angkor Thom and measures 7.8 by 2.1 kilometers. It is the largest hand-cut water on Earth and can hold 45 to 53 billion liters of water. A Hindu temple is built on an artificial island in the center of the West Barrage. In the dry season, you can walk out to see the temple, but in the rainy season, you have to take the boat to go there. And now it's city planning. City planning in the Khmer Empire was also one of the most advanced of the ancient world because the city was laid out in grid and neighborhood with road, waterwork, and access to civic and religious structure. The population in the Khmer city was low density, meaning that the population was well spread out. There were probably household, neighborhood, and community syringe and temple at different sites across the different township, village, district, and rural area. Royalty, court official, and town elite live in more elaborate structure. King and their family probably owned a number of property holding, industry, and had a large labor force work for them. However, the ruler did not live in the large palace built of stone and brick foundation in Angkor. These were reserved for the gods.
Hello again everyone, I'm Bapa and today I'm going to present about Khmer society and religious practices. This part you will learn about the society of Khmer during the Khmer Empire and the religion that they practices. So let's start our point. So as we know that Khmer Empire borrowed many ideas from India, they had a social system of their own. They had a society made up of elite and commoner of different status. Those status was based on a combination of achieved and ascribed titles, economic status, and charimas. And one more thing is a very important title in Khmer society was the pon, or we call the water manager. And we will talk about the Khmer people. Most Khmer were likely farmers, fisherfolk, craftsmen, construction workers, and local traders, and many have served in military. And what about the household? So the household have a large multi-generation and extended family living together in the same house. So in that time, the family were mostly extended families. And one more point is archaeological evidence tell us that Khmer households in the city have access to many foreign goods, such as Chinese ceramic. So we can see that during that time, Khmer Empire was a very developed country. They did the trade with other countries. That's why the house have many foreign goods. So the next point we will talk about the woman. So female in Khmer household generally play a more important role in economic and decision making. They had more influence and power. For example, in Angkor royalty, the Khmer rulers, queens, and mother likely had a large influence on the Khmer kings. So here is the picture of the room that King Jayavarman VII built is dedicated to his mother and wives. And the role of women is also seen in religion. So for example, this is the goddess called Dugas are found in Cambodian art. And about the next point is religious practices. So, Khmer Empire are mainly Hinduism or Buddhism, but also the incorporated the worship of local ancestor and animism. Um, their religion was a form of Hinduism that focused on Shiva, the destroyer. Here is the picture of Lord Shiva, and here is the lingam. In the time, the priest would pour the liquid over the lingam, which would drain through the unit that provided the powerful liquid to enhance health and other blessings. And this is how they believe in Hinduism. So the next point about the Buddhism. So during the reign of King Jayavarman VII, the state religion was changed dramatically to Mahayana Buddhism. But it was reversed after the rulers passed on. And during that time it has a little impact on the life of many Khmer people who did not distinguish between Hinduism and Buddhism. And here is the picture that is the proof that during that time the religion was changed dramatically to Mahayana Buddhism. So this is the status of Buddha in Angkor Thom, or we can call Bayon Temple.
And the last thing is we will talk about the worship and animism. So the worship and animism was also very common throughout Khmer society. The Neta are powerful spirits that can be help or harm people. So, for example, the students usually go to pray for Neta before taking an exam. They think the Neta would help them to pass the exam. And today we can see a lot of Neta in Khmer society, such as Neta Dombong Kronyung that located in Badombong province and Neta Kliang Ming and many more. So that's all for my part, and I hope you understand well with my explanation. And the next point you will learn it with Nita. Thank you.
Hello everyone again and welcome to my presentation. And today I'm covering about economy and industry and healthcare and medical industry. So without any further delay, I'd like to start the presentation about my topic. So first, we talk about economy and industries, agriculture and the fishing industries. And it is shown that rice production, fisheries, house gardens, multi-crops and forestry products were important for the Khmer Empire. As I mentioned to all of you, those products were very important for the people because Khmer people in there got most of what they needed from nature, such as rice production. People had to grow rice every day in the big fields so that they could have enough food to eat. Not only the rice productions, but also fisheries. People did a lot of fishing, especially when the rivers and lakes were full of water. And the house gardens, many people in their family had a small garden in their homes where they grew vegetables and some fruits. Last but not least, people also went into the forest to collect things like wood and plants. You know, these activities gave them food and materials, especially the thing to trade with others. The Khmer economy depended heavily on seasonal changes, such as the wet and the dry seasons. Now, I'd like to talk about the wet seasons. During the wet seasons, the main industry was fishing that produced surplus fish results in the form of dry salt, fish or prahok. So in the wet seasons, people focused on fishing and they got fish more than they needed. So when they got a lot of fish, they preserved it as dry salt fish or prahok, which could last for months and even years if processed and stored properly. During the dry seasons, people focus on rice farming, which allowed for surplus grain to be stored. Rice planting and harvesting were important for people in the Khmer Empire. As a result, this natural cycle allowed them to produce surpluses of both fish and rice. Also, other foods include rice, nuts, and fruits were traded and marketed across Cambodia and nearby kingdoms to get some income for the country. Ceramics industry. By the 9th century, Angkor had mastered a unique kiln technology that allowed for the production of high-fire glass stoneware. The Khmer Empire was not only good at farming and fishing, but they also good at making beautiful things. Like they were very skilled at making ceramics, such as pots, bowls, jars, in very hot ovens that called kilns. The glass stoneware were similar to the Chinese wares, but they later created unique brown glass pottery. The Khmer's first produced a light greenish and bluish glass stoneware similar to the Chinese wares, but later, they made their own style using a brown glass stoneware to decorate it. The ceramics were used in homes, temples, and the village across Cambodia. Especially many of the kilns were located at or around Phnom Kulen, the mountains at the northern edge of the Khmer capital. The ceramics were widely distributed throughout Cambodia but not exported much. As you can see, here are the pictures that related to ceramics industry. Other industries. Bronze production has been developed in Angkor for centuries. For example, the bronze reclining Vishnu statue found at Angkor Wat. It shows about Khmer people were good at metalwork, especially using bronze. People use bronze to make statues, especially of gods like Vishnu. One statue of Vishnu was found at Angkor Wat Temple, one of the biggest temples in the world. An inscription known as the Pekhan mentions that as many as 2,400,000 statues of bronze, silver, and gold found across the empire. It shows that art and religion were important for the Khmer life, and also other people had the skills to create the beautiful things. Lastly, it talks about healthcare and medical industry. Angkor was famous because of medical industry during the reign of King Jayavarman II, who ordered the construction and maintenance of more than 100 public and clinics. The king cared a lot about the health of his people, so that he built more than 100 hospitals and clinics to help the people who were sick. These were very special and not common in other countries such as Southeast Asia at that time. And my presentation is in the end. Do you have any questions, problems? So if you have any doubt, feel free to ask. And I hope all of you get the lesson well. The next part will be presented by Sipper.
Hello everyone, I'm from Group 5 and today I'm going to present about cashless society and lack of foreign trade. So let's move into the topic. Cashless society, it means that the Khmer economy was interesting because people apparently didn't use cash or coinage for payment or exchange. Unlike many other kingdoms of the ancient world, they also didn't use foreign coinage or cash. The second one is developed Khmer industry, limited exports. Even though the Khmer industry was well developed and technologically advanced with large-scale production, very few Khmer products were exported. For example, Khmer glazed ceramics were almost never found outside of the Khmer Empire. The third one is import of foreign goods and potential consequences. The Khmer imported many foreign goods such as Chinese ceramics. Some historians believe this trade imbalance might have led to the decline and eventual fall of the Khmer Empire. Alternative explanation: irrigation system failure. And another possibility for the empire's decline is that the irrigation system may have become decentralized, which also contributed to the long period of decline for the Khmer Empire. Archaeological discovery. In 2017, a joint Cambodian-Singaporean archaeology team with an international crew discovered a medicine Buddha statue and status of his attending, but this statue was near Angkor Thom. The Rapala Guardian statue weighed 200 kilograms. Let's move into historical character Châu Dagon, 1270 to 1346. Let's talk about the background of Châu Dagon. Châu Dagon was a Chinese diplomat who visited and lived in Angkor, the capital of the Khmer Empire from 1296 to 1297 AD. His main goal was to get the Khmer to send tribute to the Mongols, who had taken over the throne in China and established the Yuan dynasty. He later wrote the customs of Cambodia. And the historical importance, Zhou's writing are a very important historical source because he kept a record of the customs of Cambodia, which were generally known to be very accurate and reliable. Zhou described the following aspects of Angkor: physical structures of Angkor, such as the gates, walls, and major temples like Angkor Thom, the Bayon, the Royal Palace, Angkor Wat, and the East Baray. Detailed descriptions of the Khmer king's origins, ceremonies, customs, and the system of officials mainly staffed by nobles. Descriptions of the religions in Angkor: Brahmins, Buddhist monks with shaven heads in yellow robes, and ascetics who worship stone lingams. The systems of writing which used chalk on black leather. Funeral practices and popularity of cremation, agriculture, roads and medical practices, socio-economic practices of the Khmer people, and lack of monetary system. Let's move into talk about the decline and end of the Khmer Empire. The decline and end of the Khmer Empire started in the 13th century and ended in the 15th century, with the capital moving to Busan and later to Krong Chatumuk. The reasons for the Khmer decline have been a matter of debate for many historians. It is likely that a long series of wars against the Champa kingdoms in the 13th century weakened Cambodia. In 1283, Mongol forces under Kublai Khan even attacked the Khmer Empire for imprisoning Mongol diplomats and representatives. Yet Angkor remained a populous, wealthy, and powerful kingdom in the 13th. Between the 13th and 15th centuries, regional powers such as Sukhothai 1283 to 1436 and Ayutthaya 1350 to 1767 broke away from Khmer influence to become independent polities. Other kingdoms such as Singapore and Malacca 1299 to 1511 and the Le Dynasty in Vietnam 1427 to 1527 took advantage of the growth in maritime trade to become powerful trading centers, yet the Khmer Empire remained inward-looking and agrarian. They did not engage in overseas trade. For about mega droughts and mega flood, so some historians believe that severe and prolonged droughts and floods starting from the mid to late 13th significantly contributed to the fall of Khmer Empire. Angkor's water management failure. This theory suggests that Angkor's extensive water control infrastructure, once a strength, was seriously damaged or became unstable due to this extreme weather. Even evidence cited includes reused stone blocks from nearby temples, indicating a disruption in original construction, and studies of cypress tree rings in the highlands of Vietnam showing unusual growth patterns between the 1360s and 1420s, and again from the 1330s to 1420s, potentially linked to these climatic events. Criticism of the climate theory. Other historians disagree, pointing out that Khmer had successfully managed water control and engineering for centuries. They find it unlikely that they would have been suddenly unable to cope with floods and droughts. Furthermore, this theory doesn't explain why neighboring kingdoms like Sukhothai, which likely faced similar environmental challenges, did not collapse. The archaeological analysis of the Angkor Thom Bridge, based on limited excavation, doesn't consistently support the theory. Additionally, studies of cypress trees in Vietnam indicating droughts were conducted 700 kilometers away, where weather patterns would have differed significantly from the Angkor Plain. Shifting trade and economic strain. The text suggests that a decline in export or maritime trade, possibly due to a shift in trade routes or it's like increased competition, placed a heavy burden on the Khmer economy. This could also explain the gradual decline of Angkor. Internal shift and the rise of Phnom Penh. Over time, the Khmer Empire contracted and the population of Angkor gradually moved elsewhere. Eventually, Phnom Penh became the new capital, indicating a significant shift in power and demographics. And the last one is about Portuguese arrival and a weakened empire. By the time the Portuguese arrived in Cambodia in the 16th century, the Khmer Empire was already described as a somewhat weak kingdom, suggesting a long period of decline predating European influence. So, in conclusion, the Khmer Empire presents a fascinating case study in the rise and fall of a powerful civilization. Joe Dagon's detailed accounts offer us the invaluable glimpse into the sophisticated society of Angkor at its zenith. While the various theories surrounding its decline highlight the complex interplay of environmental, economic, and political factors that can shape the course of history. Though the empire eventually faded, the magnificent temples of Angkor stand today as a powerful testament to the ingenuity and grandeur of the Khmer people, a legacy that continues to inspire awe and wonder. And thank you everyone for paying attention to my presentation, and good luck.